Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back. Jamie here today. I'm going to talk about Spiral from the Book of Saw, which was released in 2021, delayed by 1 year because of the pandemic. And Darren Lynn Bousman is the director, back from directed Saw 2, 3 and 4. We got new characters in this, played by Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson, but it's a complete spin-off really. Like, John Kramer's only in it for like one photo, like literally Tobin Bell's not even in it, it's just a photo of him. So yeah, it's a complete spin-off. I'm gonna get into my thoughts. It starts with a cop chasing someone down into like the train station after they robbed a bank, and then they get ambushed and they wake up inside like this tongue trap where the tongue's basically like, you know, coming out, and they're stood on this platform and the train's coming in like 2 minutes. And then the video comes on and we get our first introduction to the killer. He has the pig mask on, but his voice, it's like a CG voice, man, and I'm not a fan of this. I'm a fan of like some of the stuff of this film, but not the voice. I understand why they did it. They want to do something different than John, and he wants to keep his, you know, identity unknown, but still, I think you could have made it more scary. He ends up getting crushed by the train. It's a lot of CGI blood, and we go to the title sequence, and then from there we're introduced to Chris Rock's character Zeke, who's undercover, and this is like a comedy scene, and straight away it sort of throws you off because you don't really have much comedy in Saw films. But this is straight talk like Forrest Gump and all this. They start robbing these people. They go outside and the police are there, and we find out, like I said, he's undercover. So he's getting like, you know, told off by his boss Anja, and he's like, there's no one on the force I could fucking trust because he turned in a dirty cop 12 years ago. And then she introduces him to his new partner, William. And you can tell, you know, he doesn't really want a partner, but he's gonna go along with it anyway. And this is straight away, like, I'm not gonna spoil this straight away, but I mean, this is obvious who the killer is straight away. Like, he sits down and he's like, your dad's the reason why I'm doing all of this. And straight away you're like, huh? But he has a family, a wife and a son. He's also got his son's name tattooed on his arm. But I gotta say, like, a point of this, like, there's too much actual music inside this film. Like, later on we get the actual score by Charlie Clouser, but like, already there's been 3 actual songs playing. We never had that much inside Saw films. Like, it's like end credits make sense, or like, you know, background music or whatever, but the whole feel of this, I understand they wanted to do something different, but at the same time they didn't, because they wanted to capitalize on the Saw name. Later on, Zeke gets a play me tape at the police station, so he plugs it into William's computer, and we see the spiral on the wall. Someone mentions like, oh, is this another Jigsaw copycat? But they never mentioned by name Hoffman or Halloran, because you remember in Saw 3D, everyone knew it was Hoffman, and in Jigsaw, Logan set up Halloran as the new, you know, apprentice in a way. He was trying to frame him. But no mention of any of them. I'm guessing they're trying to keep it clear, so when they do a, you know, another sequel in the future, they want to, you know, don't want to rule out all your possibilities straight away, I guess. But Zeke recognizes the building as the courthouse, even though there's a sign on there saying court vehicles. It's not like he's some smart person. It literally tells you right there. So they find the tongue there, and it's revealed to be Baz, the guy from the beginning, you know, another cop and Zeke's mate, and he lied on the testifying stand. That's why his tongue was at the courthouse. Like I said, there's a lot of tension with the other officers because they think Zeke's a rat because he reported a dirty cop 12 years ago, so none of them like him. Then we get introduced to Zeke's dad, Marcus, played by Samuel L. Jackson. And you know, you got some big time names inside this film, no doubt, but I think I prefer when it's unknown actors. So they're investigating John Kramer, and they got like a billboard up, and we, like I said, we see one photo of John and like past victims from like 2, 3 and 4, you know, the films that Darren was involved in. But I wish we got more than this, man. I really do. I understand they're trying to set it up as a spin-off, you know, new audiences and everything, but still, there should have been more connective, like, tissue here. William borrows Zeke's phone, and we see Marcus go into, like, a building with a gun, and then that's the last time we see him for a while. The crooked cop with a scar on his face, and he gets jumped and put into this finger trap. This device is going to pull his fingers off before he gets electrocuted by the water. And it cuts away once the video says, I want to play a game. Like, we don't get to see what happens until later on. And there's a few choices like this inside this film where it's like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? We get a flashback to Marcus with a mustache and Zeke with the goatee, and he slams the door on reporter's face. This is after he reported the dirty cop. And I just... even this feels kind of lazy, you know. It's like it's a flashback. Oh, give him a mustache, give him a goatee. They get sent another video, and we see the pig puppet for the first time with like the strings and the marionette and stuff. And it's a cool design. I do like this. It's something different than Billa, and there's an actual meaning for it later on, which we'll get into. But they show the location, they go there and they find the fingers from the crooked cop. And then we get another flashback to Zeke in a shootout, and he's, you know, under pressure, and no one's gonna help him out even though they're right near him, and he gets shot. And then when his dad arrives, Marcus is like, I'm gonna put a dispatch call in, whoever was the closest, I'm gonna take this gun, I'm gonna shoot the motherfucker. And he realizes it was Fitch or whatever, he starts hitting him, and that's how he got the scar on his face. Then we finally go to the aftermath of the trap, and we see how he died. And this is some brutal trap. The actor in this is really screaming, like, you feel those pain screams, no doubt. I just hate how they directed it all, edited it together. It's like, We're going to show you a bit of the trap, cut away, and then come back later on. And all the tension's gone because you know he's not survived it because you already see his dead body. Then there's a line what people hate where Zeke goes, oh, John Kramer didn't target cops. And he didn't. Not exclusively anyway. Yeah, sure, he targeted a few of them, but there was, you know, that wasn't the only thing he was going after, was it? Doctors, medical professionals, like even drug addicts. Like, he wasn't just after cops. Like, sure, he targeted quite a few of them, but it wasn't just cops. So this line's fine for me. So they go to the church where the cop that he turned in lives. Like, he's living inside the basement. And basically, he shot a man called Charlie years ago because he was a witness to another cop doing something dirty. He's like, yeah, I'll testify. And he just shoots him right there and then plants a gun. He's like, oh yeah, the witness pulled a gun on me. And he makes a line here, it's like something about like drinking. He's like, you know, the glass inside the bottle can kill as well, which a little foreshadowing there. So they get another delivery at the police station, third one on the movie. The pig puppet's inside and it's like, I'm getting underneath your skin now, and attached is human skin and the Charlie tattoo of Williams. So we're thinking, oh no, Williams dead now, right? So they go and find his body all skinned up. But it's clearly not him because he was killed off screen and we barely even hear the tape. We don't even know what his game is. We just hear like, oh, you've got to skin yourself, blah, blah, blah. We barely hear any of it. And this is completely suspicious already. I'm just going to say it right now. If you didn't figure out already that William's the killer, they've made it completely obvious. The lines that he says straight away, like, oh, I've been doing this, you know, your dad's the reason why I wanted to do this. I even missed out one before where they go to the crime scene and he's like, oh yeah, I've been wanting to do this since I was 12 years old. But that's not the main twist of it, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, killed off screen, it's obvious what's happening. Angie gets a text from Marcus's phone telling her to check out the evidence room, and an officer gets attacked like inside the town to try and divert the attention away from the police station. And then she gets gassed out inside the records room and she wakes up beside the trap and she has to sever a spine or get this hot wax poured onto her face. And this is a brutal trap, this, man, it really is. I don't think I would be able to do that. Like, sever your spine, no way. And then I gotta say, like, how can one person set all of this up, get all this trap down inside the police station? They must have had help. There's no way it's just William doing all this by himself, no way. Zeke finally arrives there and her face is completely burnt. He's trying to do mouth to mouth with her, but it's just not happening. She's dead. And they check the records, the viewers had access, and Pete, the guy who, you know, the crooked cop from years ago, he still had access. So Zeke goes to the church to look for him. We'll get a cool shot. We see the pig in the background as he's walking in. And then as he's walking out, the pig's gone and he just gets jumped by him. I do like that shot. That was a pretty cool shot. And then we finally see Marcus, Zeke's dad, once again. He's going around the building and it's like, it's been a few days at this point, so it's obviously this is in the past. It's not happening right now. And originally he was supposed to see a Billy the Puppet doll here, but they cut it out. And he also has blood on his hand because there's another cut thing where he found one of the cops inside like a trap. And it was a fake out. He was supposed to think it was his son, but it really wasn't. So they've cut quite a few things out of this film. I would have liked to see Billy in there though. We also see the original pig mask inside his lair as well before Marcus gets jumped and he fires the shot, but it doesn't hit the pig. Now when Zeke wakes up chained to the pipe with his arm, this is where it starts feeling like an actual Saw film to me. Like we get the score again, he's looking at the hacksaw, he's debating, and he finds a pin and he's able just to get out of it. And Pete's at this room as well, chained up, and all this glass starts coming out and starts cutting his back. Like he said, you know, the glass is at the ball can kill as well. And Zeke has to find the key before it's too late, and it's inside the bin. Eventually he finds it, but of course it's too late. So from there he walks into the next room, and William's just chilling there with food. And it's so like what's going on here? It's supposed to be the twist, but hell, Zepp's not playing. And we find out that William is the killer, and the guy who got killed years ago, that was his dad, and he was there witnessing it. And Zeke, you know, saw him as a kid and he's like, shh, telling him to shush, you know, be quiet about it. And he wants Zeke to join up with him to get rid of the corruption inside the police. And I do like this aspect. I do like it quite a lot. He has a fake name, no real family, and he tattooed his that tattoo of his arm onto some drug addict who was skinned alive. So that explains all that. Like I said though, he was killed off screen. It was obviously not going to be him. He mentions the spiral symbol and how it's a symbol of change and progress, and he wants to apply it to the whole system. And he calls in the police, and then we go and find out that his dad's inside the next room. You know, we got to have the sliding door as well though. But his dad's all like, you know, hung up bleeding. And Zeke's game is basically he has to shoot this one target with the one bullet. William starts telling him how his dad's corrupt as well, just like Angie is. Hello Zepp starts playing as he shoots the target. And like I said, this is actual Saw right now. The police arrive and they bust through the door, and then Marcus gets pulled up by a thing and there's a gun in his hand and he starts pointing it towards the police, and it mirrors the pig puppet. That's what the pig puppet was supposed to be. And then they all start shooting because that's the name of this game, isn't it? Like, they all just shoot, police, shoot first, ask questions later. And then Zeke's just down on the floor screaming, seeing his dad get shot to fuck. He looks over to William, and William gives him the same, like, shh, as he did, as the film cuts to black. And we get the 21 Savage things at the credits as well, which is a good song that has grown on me. Really good ending. I do love this ending. But yeah, overall, this film, I'm going to give Spiral a 6 out of 10. It's a decent spin-off. I don't like the voice, but the traps are pretty good. Once it gets going, it's actually like a Saw film. The beginning half, not really so much, but definitely the end, no doubt. I'm wondering whereabouts they're going to go from here, because I do sort of like the partnership Zeke and William had. I doubt Zeke's going to help him after his dad died, but you know. There's a little bit of social commentary as well, like with the whole police brutality and stuff what's been going on. But this was filmed, like I said, it was supposed to come out in 2020, but it got delayed. So that was before the whole like protests and stuff like that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions about Spiral down below. Next week, we're going to rank the entire Saw series from worst to best. And then we're going to wait for Saw X and hope that comes out sometime soon. But make sure you like and subscribe. Until next week, peace out in a bit.